Let me and Toby, homie, make you do the hokey pokey. Pull a pound up and down, turn yourself around, shorty. Here's some weed, burn yourself a pound, warty. Here's a map, go learn yourself a town, sporty. I was down 40, now I'm up 50, buck quickly. Who could fuck with me? Killer. Me and Toby, homie, make you do the hokey pokey. This sounds goofy, but it's forced movement. Hokey pokey isn't dancing for fun here. It's being made to move, being controlled, reacting instead of acting. Add me and Toby and it becomes two sources of pressure. You're not just choosing steps, you're responding to commands. It's intimidation dressed as a children's game. Pull the pound up and down, turn yourself around, shorty. This line completes the metaphor. The hokey pokey instructions, up and down, turn yourself around, are now paired with the pound to weight, money, force, leverage, intentionally ambiguous. So the children's rhyme becomes a coercion manual. You move when I move. You turn when I say turn. You react to what I'm holding. It's choreography under pressure. Me and Toby, homie, make you do the hokey pokey. Pull the pound up and down, turn yourself around, shorty. Hokey pokey equals children's dance, turned into coercion. The hokey pokey is instruction-based movement. Put your right foot in, put your left foot out, turn yourself around. Cam weaponizes that innocence by making it sound like he's giving commands, except the dance is happening because someone's life is at stake. Pull the pound equals gun, and the double meaning is the whole trick. Pound equals weight, literally. So pull the pound up and down sounds like a simple physical motion. Pound equals heater or tool. So pull the pound reads like pulling a gun out or pulling the trigger. Cam loves making the literal meaning cover the street meaning like a disguise. Up and down is also the aiming motion, and it paints a scene. Up and down can be the motion of raising, lowering the gun, the recoil rhythm of firing, the sweeping motion of tracking someone as they move. So the idea of he's shooting and you're dancing lands because the phrase describes the choreography of violence. Gun moves, body reacts. Turn yourself around equals the cleanest intimidation detail. In the kid song, it's playful. Here it's menacing because it implies you're being controlled. You're reacting, not choosing. You're spinning to avoid what's coming. It's basically, I'm conducting your body with a weapon. Shorty makes it colder and funnier at the same time. Calling someone shorty while threatening them does two things at once. Belittles them, you're not even worthy of serious respect, and it keeps the tone casual, like this is routine. That casualness is what makes the bar funny and scary at the same time. Cam's signature smirk while it's lethal vibe. Okay? Let's talk about the hidden flex, how we make you do it. Me and Toby, we make you is a powerful statement. Not you did, but we caused it. So the real flex isn't just having the pound, it's having the ability to force your body to comply. He turns a kid's dance into a drill. The gun is the instructor, your fear is the choreography. Here's some weed, burn yourself a pound, Wody. Now Cam flips roles from threat to provider. But notice, he gives you something consumable. Something that disappears, something that keeps you occupied. This is distraction as control. It's not generosity, it's pacification. Here's a map, go learn yourself a town, sporty. This is low-key one of the coldest lines here. A map is knowledge, access, orientation. But telling someone go learn the town is also saying, you're new here. You don't know the terrain. You're not on my level yet. Cam positions himself as native intelligence. You're still studying. What these two here's lines are really saying. Weed plus map equals false empowerment versus real power. One keeps you busy, one exposes how far behind you are. He's showing the difference between feeling like you're in control versus actually being in control. Here's some weed, burn yourself a pound, Wardy. The word Wardy immediately regionalizes the moment. That's Louisiana, New Orleans slang. So as soon as he says it, the scene shifts. The person he's talking to is either from down south or at least coded as southern. That alone introduces outsider energy. Now the ambiguity starts. On the surface, this sounds welcoming. Here's some weed. Burn yourself a pound.
casual tone, familiar slang. It sounds like hospitality, but there's a second layer. Weed is low risk, low status compared to harder product. Burn yourself a pound keeps them busy, distracted, occupied. He's not giving access, he's giving something to consume and disappear. So this can read as, I'll let you smoke, but that's as far as this goes. It's generosity with a ceiling. Here's a map, go learn yourself a town, sporty. This line flips the power dynamic completely. A map is knowledge, but also an admission. You don't know this place. You're not local. You don't have control here yet. Go learn yourself the town sounds friendly, but it's also distancing. He's saying you're still a student here. And Sporty does the same thing Shorty does earlier. Slightly condescending, casual dominance, polite dismissal. It's not let me show you around. It's figure it out yourself. Together, the two lines create a trapdoor. This is where our intuition is right. Taken together, the lines allow three simultaneous readings, and Cam never tells you which one is true. The surface welcome. You're in town. Here's weed. Here's slang. Here's a map. Do your thing. Soft warning. You can hang out, but don't touch real business. Don't overstep. Don't confuse access with authority. There's a strategic setup. You're an outsider moving in unfamiliar territory. You've been distracted with weed, given false comfort, sent wandering without protection. That's where the J. Prince energy comes in. Not aggression, but controlled environment dominance. Why this is a drug economy reading too. If the person is coming from Louisiana thinking they can operate, weed equals the only lane you're allowed. Map equals you don't know where to go. Learn the town equals you're not plugged in. Tone equals calm, not threatening. That's how real territorial warnings often sound. Not get out, but move carefully. There's the genius of the ambiguity. Cam never resolves whether this is kindness, mockery, strategy, or intimidation, because power doesn't have to explain itself. The listener decides based on how they understand street dynamics. If you're naive, this sounds friendly. If you're experienced, it sounds cautious. If you're paranoid, it sounds dangerous. That's intentional. The cleanest way to frame this is you don't need to accuse him of malice. You can say, this is hospitality written with an asterisk, or Cam welcomes you but on his terms. That keeps all readings alive. And honestly, that ambiguity is the flex. I was down 40. Now I'm up 50. This is pure trajectory flex, not just profit reversal. He doesn't say how long it took. He doesn't explain the method. The point is movement, from negative to positive, from loss to dominance. Buck 50, buck quickly. Who could fuck with me? Now he zooms out. Buck 50 works multiple ways. Money scale, damage scale, escalation. Quickly matters because it implies efficiency, decisiveness, no wasted motion. After everything we just heard, control, distraction, terrain knowledge, this feels earned, not braggy. Originally, the power read was Cam as the local sizing up an outsider. But what I'm proposing now is Cam as the outsider who passed the test. That's not a reach. It's a classic Cam move. He loves identity slippage. Sometimes king of the block, sometimes the guy who just ran a play somewhere else and dipped. I was down 40, now I'm up 50, but quickly. This line is doing temporal compression. Down 40, starting at a deficit. Up 50, profit, not just recovery. Quickly, speed matters more than scale. That reads very cleanly as I came, I flipped, I left. Not long-term establishment, not territorial dominance, not this is my city forever, but efficient movement. That absolutely supports an out-of-town or hustle reading. So now let's reread these previous lines through that lens. If Cam is the one who went down south, here's some weed, burn yourself a pound, Woody. Southern hospitality extended to him. Here's a map, go learn yourself the town. He's the one being told, go figure it out. Those lines don't have to be threats anymore. They become initiation conditions. Like, we'll let you move, but you better know where you are. Why quickly is the telltale word. This is the strongest part of the new read. If Cam were the local, speed wouldn't matter. Longevity would. but he's the outsider. Speed is survival. Lingering is dangerous. Profit plus exit equals success. Buck quickly feels like leave before comfort turns into vulnerability. That's very real. What this does thematically and why it's dope. Now the whole section can hold two truths at once. Sometimes Cam is the gatekeeper. Sometimes Cam is the one who slipped through the gate. Both fit his persona. Adaptable, mobile, opportunistic, never stuck in one role. That's actually more interesting than locking him into one position. Okay? Whether he's the host or the visitor, the flex stays the same. I can enter unfamiliar territory, understand rules fast, make money, and exit clean. That's not about geography, that's about competence. The bottom line is, this isn't a contradiction, it's a role reversal. And Cam's whole thing is being slippery enough that locals think he's one of them. Outsiders think he's passing through. Nobody ever knows exactly how long he's staying. That's ambiguity. That's power. This entire sequence is about who understands movement. You dance when told, you move where allowed, you burn time, you learn territory late. Cam, he already knows the steps, the map, the timing, the leverage. That's why the tone stays playful. He's not frantic, he's comfortable. Cam uses children's games, friendly language, casual offers to describe coercion, hierarchy, control, dominance. So again, people laugh and then realize the joke is that you're the one moving. And that's very on brand for everything we've been pulling up out of this song. This section isn't chaos, it's playful order. And that's contrast. That's Cam at his most dangerous.